All right, and we're on. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in the house. Welcome to Love Coach Sessions Live. I'm your man, KTJ, and this is Love Coach Sessions Live. And I got a great guest today. We got a great topic today. Before we get into it, you guys, I want you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, then hit the bell so you don't miss anything. Look, we got some good stuff that's coming up, and I want you guys to be involved in it. We got a lot of, we got some great guests coming. We have some great content coming, and so it's all right here, YouTube, as well as on the Facebook page. So come on in the house, you guys. Glad to have you guys, and we're going to get into this topic today: how to attract a high value man who will commit to you. All right, so our show is somehow this show ended up being for primarily for women, so I just go with whoever shows up.
Yeah,
right,
we can make it happen. Shit.
absolutely. So I today, you guys, I'm glad to have this guest. I've been following his work for a few years now, and I'm honored that he consented to come on to your man KTJ show here. And to share a little of his knowledge. He talks to men and to women. And so he's, very knowledgeable on this. And so we on this show, we let go of the men's secrets. I follow. Yeah, man, I follow the brother, and you share the secrets on game a lot on the men's side, but today we switch it to the women's side. We're gonna let the women in on all the secrets of the mind of a man.
Right.
The name of the channel. All right, so my man, Mr. Locario, how are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm chilling, man. What's going on with you? Thanks for having me on. You feel what I'm saying? Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. So for those who are seeing you for the first time, tell them a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so my name is Mr. Locario. I'm a dating and life coach, and I coach men and women on finding exactly what they want in their dating life. So I take a realistic approach on how to make things work for you, because what I notice a lot in the dating game is that people say things that sound good, that sound nice, but I like to get to the root of what's actually going to work, what's actually going to bring you progress, what's actually going to get you from point A to point B. So, and some of those things don't sound, that cute, nice, and fluffy. So I really just try to get to the root of the situation to actually get results. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I get at the game.
Nice. And you do your work, brother. I got to give it to you. You do your work. And so look, they starting to come on in already. Come on in.
April MC, that's my girlfriend right there. April.
Okay.
Hey, shout out to Livonia. What's popping with you?
Yeah. LV, that's my girl. She's coming through. All right. So listen, I don't have a long time with you, so I don't like to waste no time. I like to get right into it. So like this term has been thrown around a lot lately. This whole high value man, high quality man. Just give me your thoughts about that. Just the term itself. Like, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, a lot of times what people have been hearing in this YouTube space and just in on the internet, that's been going around is, with the whole high value man thing is that, Kevin Samuel, shout out to him. He's been making the rounds and a lot of people have been, gravitating to that. But generally a high value man is really a man who actually sees value in himself and he understands who he is. And then he basically attacks life in that manner. So he's like, I'm doing what I'm doing and I'm getting what I'm getting and I'm creating what I want to create. And this is who I am. And this is what I'm about. So whatever he sees as valuable, you understand? And he's going after that and he's being that or becoming that. That's a high value man. A lot of times what people do is they like to put a price tag on it. They like to put their own specific value on what it is, but it's really subjective. So for example, to one person, a high value man might be an educator. You understand? Because he's bringing that value of education. Another person, a high value man might be someone with a lot of money because they may say, well, in my opinion, I need a person who has a lot of money to do this, and that. So it all depends on, what that person's looking for, but also when it comes to that particular man being who he is, him seeing himself as a high value man is just him valuing himself. You know what I'm saying? That's really, the broad way of putting it, because there's no like one specific thing that says, well, this is high value and this is not, because it all depends. It's all subjective. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Listen, I definitely got to agree with that. And see, what I like to do when I'm trying to figure out what something means, I take the word apart. Like, okay, high value.
Right.
Okay. And you add man. So a man with high values. Now, if we just stop right there and say a man with high values, he isn't necessarily the person that everybody's talking about. Right. Because they're attaching the money to it first. Right. But I think that like you said, there's a lot that goes into a man with high values. Right. A man who values himself, a man who values his time, a man who values his future, a man who values who he is and knows who he is and is confident in that. And so I seems like the money is like just a byproduct of a man who is on his path and is his head down and knows where he's going.
Right. Because the thing with the whole concept of what that is it's interesting, because a lot of it really is just based off of how the individual see things and their particular values. So for example, let's say if we're talking about women trying to get a high value man, right? If we're talking about it on a, just on a superficial level, a woman might say, well, he has to, be making this amount of money, look this way, have this type of job, have this type of career, have this type of personality, whatever it is, right? And so there might be a large majority of women who might want that type of guy. You understand what I'm saying? So that's just on the surface level. But when we get deeper, what happens is that you have to understand we all have value. Everybody has value, right? Based off of what you perceive or what you think is important, that's going to let you know what is the high value. You see what I'm saying? So, for example, one person might think, let's just keep it simple, is that the money is the most important thing. But then another person might think the quality of character is the most important thing. So to the person who thinks the money is the most important thing, your character has nothing to do with your high value to that person. And for the person who thinks the character is the most important thing, your money has really nothing to do with how high value you are. You see what I'm saying? So when you really break it down, a lot of it is much deeper than just surface level stuff, because a lot of it has to still depend on that individual's perception of this individual and that man's perception of himself. You understand what I'm saying? So it's very like, it's simple, but it's also complex. You understand? There's layers to what we're talking about when it comes to like being high value. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So why do you think so many women want this guy?
Right.
Why is this guy in such demand? Like, why is that?
Right. Well, the thing is, women want the most attractive guy they can get, like just like how men want the most attractive woman they can get. But see, the problem is everyone's not going to get the most attractive person, because most people aren't willing to do what it takes to get that person, or most people aren't equipped to know how to make that happen. So for example, a woman might want the most attractive, let's say she wants the most attractive guy, like you're saying, she wants this high value dude. Okay, fine. Now, what happens is that is she at the same level of attractiveness as him? Is she the equivalent to his attractiveness? You understand what I'm saying? So if I'm a guy who I have all this going on and I can get my pick of whoever I want in most cases, or I got a good majority of women who want to be with me. Let's say I walk into a room and there's 100 women in there, right? And 80 of them want me. You understand what I'm saying? So now the thing is that I have my pick of 80 women.
Yeah.
So now if these women want, if that any particular woman I want just wants to be with me, that means I only get to pick one out of 80. Right. And then so what happens is that I'm going to try to pick the best out of that 80.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you're a woman and you don't have the best, you understand what I'm saying? Or you're not at your best, it's going to be hard for you to get that guy. You see what I'm saying? And I think that's the the key that people have to understand is that you know, you have to be what you want. And what that means is that if you want that high value man, you have to be the high value woman. If you want to get a person at a certain level, you have to also be at that certain level, because usually that person who's at that level is going to want somebody at that level too. Just like a lot of times, if you see somebody who's very fit and they're working out, 9 times out of 10, they're going to want a partner who also works out and stays fit. You know what I'm saying? Because they work so hard at that, and that's important to them. So therefore, they're going to want to see that in their partner. You see what I'm saying? And so that's kind of like, you know, where those things, you know, happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, as you was talking about that, I was thinking about Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You know, and you see it like a pyramid, right? And on the very bottom is very basic needs. It's eating, sleeping, like the things that you absolutely have to do. Right. On the next level is safety. Right. That's why we live in houses. Right. So we don't get attacked by wild animals. Right. But on the very next level is love and belonging. Right. And so everything above that, which is you know, self, you know, esteem and self-actualization on the very top, like you can't even get to full self-esteem without feeling loved, right? Without feeling like you belong to, just that feeling of being of belonging to somebody, right? Is inside. So self, and not to mention, like, you can't go any higher to self-actualization, like to actually know, to be fully you, without having the love component taken care of. So so no wonder, like, everybody wants to be loved. Like we had Valentine's Day, and some people came up good and some people didn't. You know, look, and even for Valentine's Day, I before it came, I told him, I says, listen, you know, in November and all that, December was cuffing season and all that stuff, you know, and it was all leading down to February 14th. Right. And the question is, either are you at the table or are you not at the table? And if you're not at the table, you have not won the game.
Well, the thing also too is what I think the issue is sometimes is that the reason why it's hard for, let's say, because if we're talking to, like, you know, the audience is women, and we're talking about, you know, attracting a man, and this also goes for men too, but we'll say from the woman's side, is the reason why it's hard for a lot of women to get the type of men they want, or to keep a man interested, or whatever it is like that. Part of it has to do with actually them loving themselves first, like fully loving themselves. Because, like, what you were saying is, like, you know, we want to be loved, but at the same time, it's the reason why most people can't find love, or they don't have that, they don't find that you know, people are reciprocating love for them, is because of the lack of love in yourself. It's like this. You got to understand, people are going to treat you or come at you based off of, you know, how you know, present yourself or treat yourself, or how you basically teach people how to treat you. It's almost like a thing where when a person sees that you love yourself, that makes them want to be around you. That makes them want to engage with you. That makes them want. This is why people are so attracted to confident people. They're attracted to people with charisma. They're attracted to people who are happy. They're attracted to people who have a very warm energy. You understand what I'm saying? And that's coming. A lot of that is coming from you loving yourself. Now, when you love yourself and you're telling yourself, I don't know if we curse on here, but you telling yourself, you're like the best, you know what I'm saying, person out there, or I'm the best, I'm awesome, I'm great. You just have that energy about you and you just love yourself. What happens is people want to be a part of that. You understand? And I say it like this. It's kind of like when, you know, let's say, for example, you know, when you hear a song on the radio, where they used to play on radio, but I guess they play it on the internet now, but you hear a song once and you're like, yeah, that song's kind of all right. It's decent, right? But then you hear it over and over again. Then everybody's saying that song is the bomb, and they playing it on the stations and they flex and dropping bombs on it. The DJs is playing it everywhere. Then all of a sudden, that song that you thought was okay becomes like your favorite song. You're like, man, this is my jam right now. The reason why it became your jam is because that song kept playing, it kept being consistent, it kept saying, yo, I'm that song, I'm so good, you're gonna love me. You understand what I'm saying? And so what happens is that you have to be that type of, you have to have that type of energy where you're consistently loving yourself, you're consistently seeing the value in you, you're consistently seeing yourself as that person. So now when you ladies meet a man, right, what happens is you're coming to a man as a woman who fully loves herself. So what happens is when you fully love yourself, you're saying to this man subconsciously, I enjoy you, but I don't necessarily need you, which is attractive to him because he's like, damn, all these other women, they're sweating me. They're all over, they're all over me. Like they're rushing to get into a relationship with me. They're trying to pin me down. And this woman right here, I'm having a great experience, and she's not even like grabbing onto me. She's letting me free. What's up with this woman? I want to, and that intrigues men. You understand? That's the part of the game that a lot of women don't understand. But the thing is that you have that type of energy when you love yourself fully. You understand what I'm saying? When you enjoy your life fully. And so the man that interacts with you, he's like, I want to be a part of this. I want more of this. I want to be with her because she stands out from all the other women. All the other women who's thirsty and desperate to be with the man. She's like, I'm good regardless. Now, again, she also wants a man too. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But what happens is that she's good with or without it. And that's the most attractive thing. And she's consistent with that energy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I love that. And as you were talking about that, that's exactly what I was thinking of, is the fact that you teach people how to treat you, right? Here's what I tell my clients. I said, listen, I don't care whatever it is in your life. You raise the standard in your life, right? You raise the standard. Look, I don't care if you pull up the McDonald's, if your fries don't come out hot, you send them back. You know what I'm saying? Like if you go into a restaurant, right, or whatever it is, you booking a hotel. Yeah, you could book the Econo Lodge. But you know what? You subconsciously, you believe what you're telling yourself. Okay. So I say, look, if the Ritz-Carlton is possible, book yourself at the Ritz-Carlton, right? And when you get in that room, you're gonna feel like, matter of fact, when you pull up there, they do everything for you and treat you like a baby, like everybody's a celebrity. And then you begin to reinforce that feeling inside that I deserve this treatment.
Exactly. That's the key. You said it right there. When you feel that you deserve that becomes your standard. And then what happens is everything else elevates and raises for you to become that person. And so what happens is that now when you're that type of woman, you feel what I'm saying? It's good because see, let's just keep it real. It's easy for women to attract men for sex. You understand? Sexually, we're like, okay, you look good. You understand? You'll get our attention. You look good. You put on some tight. You understand what I'm saying? And like all women have a large number of men who's gonna like their type, whether you skinny, slim, thick, whatever. There's guys that's gonna be. I'm telling you, I already know dudes probably hitting you up in the DMs, go on Tinder, Bumble, all these dating sites. You could get guys that'll want to talk to you on the front end. Now, the hard part though for most women is to maintain that situation when they find a guy they're interested in. You see what I'm saying? And so that's where the actual work comes in to know how to be that attractive woman to that man. Now, the first step I said earlier was about, you having that loving energy for yourself. And then the second step also is to understand and listen to and observe what men are interested in. And I think that's a big piece of the puzzle that a lot of women ignore. What I notice is that a lot of women will sort of say, and I've heard this a million times when I coach women, is that they'll say, Locario, why don't you teach these men how to, be more like this? And why don't you teach these men how to actually treat a woman like that? And I'm like, well, you got to understand something. It's not about you wanting to change how the men are being. It's about you understanding how the man is and understand how you can attract that person. You understand what I'm saying? That's what it's about. Because the thing is, it's the equivalent of a man telling me, hey, Locario, tell these women to just do this, tell these women to do that, which I do get guys saying that. And the thing is, it's not about women changing for the men. It's about the men understanding how to be attractive to the woman. So the same thing on the flip side. As a woman, you have to understand how to be attractive to a man.
Yeah.
And so that's understanding the man, not changing the man, understanding the man. And I think that's the hardest part for a lot of women to, like, you know, get past. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's good. And so one of the things that I talk about is keeping the loop open. Like what you just described earlier was just about how men, there's something about the male mind. Like we like to finish things. Like we want things to be finished.
Right.
We want, you know, you meet the chick. If you decided, you know, y'all decided to go back to the spot, boom, like you want to complete the act,
right?
And note and check that off your list or whatever you do, right? But what I talk to the ladies about is not allowing a man to fully conquer you. Inside of us is the conquer gene, right? Like men, we want to conquer, we want to win, we want to win the championship. Like we want to complete the season, we want to complete whatever it is.
Right.
But I tell them, listen, whatever you do, never let a man fully feel like he has conquered you. Because if he feels like he's conquered you, he is finished with you. Right. But leaving that little piece of wonder in his mind, like the incomplete circle, like leaving that, I wonder why she did that thing that she just did. You know, stuff like telling him I'll tell you when I call you tomorrow. I got something to tell you, but I'm not going to tell you right now. I'll tell you tomorrow. Right. Like all those little things that keep him engaged and keeping him interested. Because, like you said, like one of the problems with this is that because he is a high value man, he has so many choices. And the problem with you, this, let's say one individual woman getting this guy is the fact that he's, you know, how are you going to cut through? How is he going to get? How are you going to get his attention and be what he desires to be? And so, because there's so many other women who are just as good, just as smart, just as intelligent, just as beautiful, you know. And so the things that we talking about tonight is really like, it's really the secret and the goal for women to get.
I'll give the ladies some game real quick. Let me
give it to them. Give it to them.
I want to add on to what you're saying, because I definitely see what you're saying. I want to add on to that. Is that what it is that and I had a friend say this a long time ago, and I thought this was brilliant. He said that, you know, women have to be better than their vagina. You know what I'm saying? And so what that means is, you know, basically is that you have to have something about you that a guy sees as more valuable than sex. Because understand this, if a guy's a high value guy and he can get sex or whatever, sex, even though he wants sex is not the thing that's going to keep him interested. So a lot of women think, well, let me withhold sex. And a lot of times, funny enough, when you do that, that sort of makes you basic, because most women do that. You understand what I'm saying? Most women are like, we're going to withhold sex. Now, what that does is, you know, if a guy actually is interested in you, right? To him, that just seems very like immature and kind of like, you know, it's like high school. It's like, well, why are we doing this? You know, I see why you're doing it, but you don't need to do that, because I'm trying to, if I actually get to know you and see who you are and what you're about, that's going to determine if I actually like you. It's not the sex. You understand? Because a guy can get sex wherever, if he's the type of guy who has enough game to get sex, which if he's a high value guy, he can do that. So it's going beyond the sex. It's saying, what is it about you that is interesting beyond that? And now let me explain something very, very important. And this is how I'll tell you, ladies, this is the way to really get a guy to like get him hooked. Okay. It's not about withholding sex. You can have sex with him the first night. It ain't going to matter what I'm about to say. The way to get a guy hooked is you have to figure out that particular guy's interest and what he feels he wants and needs, right? So now, once you figure that out, and then you become that in his life, that's when he actually gets hooked onto you. So for example, let's say you met a guy who is starting a business. I'm just using a simple example. Let's say he's starting a business and he's trying to open a restaurant or he's trying to open a bakery or something like that. Whatever. I'm just using an example. So he's trying to open a bakery and you're having a conversation, you're going a date or two. And he's like, yeah, I've been, my dream is to own a few bakeries. That's been my dream. I've been trying to get these things going, yada, yada, yada. And then he's like, man, I've been having trouble trying to find some spaces to rent out, whatever. Right. So now you taking this all and you jotting this down in your mind. Right. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, you text them and you say, hey, I wanted to let you know I was actually looking up some spaces and, I know a guy and I think you should, check this out next Monday. Are you free? Now, that guy is going to be like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
This woman, because understand, he's not only dating you, he's probably dating 3 other women.
Yeah.
But you're the only one who took interest in the thing he needed help with, or the thing that was necessary or pertained to his life. You understand what I'm saying? So now you're up here and the other women are over here. Because all the other women are doing is either giving him sex or withholding sex. Mm-hmm. And they're just sitting there expecting him to try to chase them. No, you're actively inserting yourself in his situation to help elevate his situation. So you're becoming a helpmate to him. Yeah. So because that happens, you become almost like irreplaceable at this point. He's like, man, I gotta keep this woman around. You know what I'm saying? Like she's actually, adding to my situation. Yeah, but this all came from you having conversations with him, communicating with him, listening to him to figure out what guy are you dealing with. You understand what I'm saying? What type of guy you're actually involved with so that you can, get the situation going to the point where he becomes attached to you.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. So a lot of women, they look at it in the terms of sex, but the reason why a lot of times guys have sex with women and then just keep it moving is because there was nothing else beyond the sex. She wasn't being better than her vagina. And that's why the guy's like, yeah, okay, well, we had sex. I'm good.
Yeah. He got what he needed. I love that. I love that. And what we really talking about is adding value.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right. Like, what value do you add to his life? Like something that example that you just gave, or like, let's say she decides like, well, wait a minute, I'm in real estate. I tell you what, we look at this place, well, we got this place over here, we got this place over here, and he can see, wait a minute. She's not only good for a night. Like she's on it. She's acting like a helpmeet. Right?
Exactly, already. So, because I hear a lot of women say this, and this is a mistake. They say, well, I'm not going to act like a wife or a girlfriend until I'm a wife or a girlfriend. That's a mistake. You need to be acting like the wife or a girlfriend before you're the wife or the girlfriend. You understand what I'm saying? Because that elevates you to become, for that man to think of you as the wife or girlfriend. So, and again, this is about listening. So even if that guy was like, hey, I've been doing this business and, I just been waking up and I don't even have time to make myself breakfast. Guess what you do? You jot that. Oh, he don't have time to make himself breakfast. Okay. You hit him up and she'd be like, hey, you say, good morning. How you doing? He's like, oh, I'm good. I just woke up. Well, listen, I'm actually in the neighborhood. I'm gonna just drop off some breakfast for you real quick before I go to work, because I know you told me you don't be having time to make some breakfast. So I just wanted to get you some real quick. Boom, you give him that breakfast. I'm telling you, this is you're the type of woman he gonna talk to his boys about, like, yo, I think I found, you know what I'm saying? Yes. Like, that's the one right there. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. And that goes even beyond just physical, just like, just the sex. It goes beyond all that. Because what a guy really wants as far as a long-term situation is somebody who he feels is down for him, is somebody who he feels has his back, somebody who he feels is going to cooperate with him. You understand? All these things are gonna make a guy say, man, this woman is different. A lot of women are like, well, I'm not gonna, submit, or I'm not gonna, act like a wife or girlfriend before. And it's like, no, you should. This is what, you know what I mean? It's like being an intern at a job. It's like when they're ready to hire, who's the first person they hire? The intern that's been there every day, busting their ass working and doing all this stuff for free. It was, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't even getting paid, but they just love being there. They want to be that person,
Not only do they love being there, they know the system.
Exactly.
So they don't have to start from scratch. And the one thing a high value guy is not going to do is start from scratch.
Exactly. Right.
A guy who could get a woman from anywhere, he doesn't have time to try and pull somebody up and come on, would you do the thing for me? And then he got to remind you to do the thing.
Exactly. Right.
He don't have no time for that. Like a woman, she's already in front of him. She's already going and preparing and acting the part. So then it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. I love that.
Exactly.
So let's talk a little bit about the trade-off for these women, because a lot of my clients and people that listen to this show, some of them are afraid. Afraid. I was talking to one just today, one of my first clients. She said, well, I just don't want to date. I just don't want to date because it seems like it's just these guys, they just waste my time, and just like, she's like, I'm just not even motivated. I'm not into it anymore. Like, so talk to us about dealing with all of the shenanigans that go on in the dating world and dating guys, and like, how can they just kind of deal with that?
Right. And I definitely get the frustration and not being motivated, because you go out, you it seems like the same thing over and over, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't go anywhere and all this other stuff. And what it is part of that too is, your dating situation is going to change once you change. Like you have to change something. And also part of it too is changing. One of the things is changing the frequency and your energy towards dating. So even though you're not motivated necessarily, you might still have to just pick yourself up and do it and make it happen. You understand? It's like when people don't want to go to the gym, it's kind of like you got to drag yourself. But then when you finally get there, you're kind of like, okay, cool. I'm glad I'm here because I should be here. You know what I mean? Like I should be here doing this thing. So I think it's sort of like you're going to have to push yourself to get, put yourself out there, because nothing's going to happen unless you put yourself out there. That's one. Yeah. But two, you have to sort of switch up your mindset as far as dating is concerned. And what I notice, and this is what I get on a lot of women for, and men do this too. This is so funny how many similarities that I'm seeing between men and women nowadays. There's a lot of women who are lazy daters. And what that means is, right, what that means is that, what women will do is generally, and this is what I've seen, is they will, go on these dating apps, or they'll go on a date or whatever. And so they're looking for a man to just sort of show up and be that guy. You understand what I'm saying, for her.
Yeah.
And what it is that on the women's side of the spectrum, women have to also do work. You have to also put in work. You have to put in work as far as putting yourself out there and dating. So you have to still play the numbers game. You have to go on date after date and meet different guys. Two, you have to figure out exactly what you want, but also you have to figure out how you're going to realistically get it. So, for example, if a woman is saying, I want a long-term relationship, I want a boyfriend, all this other stuff, that's great. But how are you realistically going about getting a boyfriend and having that type of situation? One of the key things you need in order to have that situation run smoothly is that you have to, like I was saying earlier, understand men. And this is the problem with a lot of women, is that they don't understand men. And so what it is that they're approaching a situation expecting a man to just be what they want him to be and just be that guy, but they're not understanding from the guy's perspective what he wants and what she needs to do in order to get him and to attract them and to keep him there. And this was what I was saying earlier about how a woman needs to figure out who this guy is, how she can put herself in the situation to implement herself in his life. So it's it's all these things that this is where I'm saying all the work has to come in. So when I tell women that there needs to be work done, if you actually apply yourself and put in the work and understand men and be realistic about your situation and what you're trying to do, then you're going to see results. The problem is, because women don't understand men, there's always this unrealistic expectation when it comes to dating and relationships, a lot on the women's side. This is why you have so many guys trying to get with women, but then you have so many single women. Like, it just doesn't even make sense. You're like, wait a second, aren't you? You know, you have a lot of guys trying to get at you on Instagram, a lot of guys on the street talking to you, a lot of guys at the bars, a lot of guys at the clubs, a lot of guys on Tinder, Bumble. You have all these men, but why is it so hard for you to get the guy? And one of the things is that women are, again, this is where we get to the unrealistic thing, because there's so much access they have to men. Women are being extremely too picky about the guys that they're trying to see. And then what happens is that they try to get with this top guy. They get on a date with him, but that top guy, all those other 80 women want him too. You understand what I'm saying? And so there's other guys who might not be this top guy, but he might be here. You understand what I'm saying? He's also still a good guy, but you're not giving him a chance because you still have access to these guys. Well, again, it's harder to get these guys right here at the top. Yeah. But it's easier to get these guys here, which are good dudes. But most women are trying to get these top guys. Now, it's not to say that you can't get these top guys, but also you got to be realistic and say, am I here with him in order to be the type of woman who can attract that guy? And so most women aren't willing to put in the work to get to here, to be that guy, to be that woman that gets that guy. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And so I think this is a lot of the backlash of Kevin Samuels for a lot of women, is that what Kevin Samuels was trying to say, and and I don't agree with everything Kevin Samuels say, but I do definitely agree with him with this, is that the more established, the more attractive, the more smooth, the more charismatic a guy is, when a guy hits on all cylinders, when he knows, listen, men who are the top they know that they know. We're not confused. They're not like, they know this. You understand what I'm saying? These guys know this. So those guys, those are the hardest guys to pin down, and especially to be in a monogamous relationship with, because they know they can get a lot of different women. So they're the hardest guys. Now, you have the guys over here in the middle who are your regular 9-to-5 guys. They're good guys. They work good jobs. Everything is cool. But because a woman has access to this top guy, they're always reaching and climbing just to get that. It's the equivalent of a man saying, I don't want to date any girl unless she looks like Kim Kardashian, or unless she looks like Beyonce. That's what women are doing on their side. They're like, I want the top guy. And it's like, we're not saying you can't get that. But what we're saying is, don't be so picky that you're missing opportunities all around here. You understand?
Right. You know what? I definitely agree with that. And yes, I agree that with Kevin Samuels. And like you said, I don't agree with everything the man said. Look, I don't agree with everything that I say. so, you know what I mean? I'll change my mind about it.
Yeah, you can look. Yeah, I agree, because I did some stuff I said like a year ago. I'm like, I don't agree with that no more.
Exactly. But the brother had a good point, but the point got lost in that, just like what you said. People said, well, how come she's got the right to have a high value man? And the man, he's not saying that you don't have the right to have one. He's just saying, well, what about the guy that working at the post office? Like, what's wrong with him? Right. He's 60,000, 50,000. Like he coming home every day. Or my man that work at the construction site come home dirty every day. Like what's wrong with that guy? Why isn't that guy attractive? And but all the attention was on the high value guy, 6-7 figure. Which the question is, are you prepared to be what that 5-6-7 figure guy is, and be next to that guy?
Right. And see, and this is the part that most women don't want to hear. And I'm gonna say this right now.
Say it.
The part most women don't want to hear. Most women, if they really want to be with that top high value guy, in a lot of situations, you're gonna have to share that guy, in which most women don't want to hear it. You understand? And that's one aspect of it. You're going to probably have to share that dude. What does that mean? That means that because he knows he can have multiple women, you're going to have to probably share that guy. And are you prepared to share that guy? If you are, then that could work. You understand what I'm saying? But a lot of times you're going to have to share that guy. 2, what happens is, like you said, are you prepared to do what it takes to be with that top guy? What a lot of women don't understand is these are the guys that most people would consider alpha males, right? Guys who are 100% alpha males generally are the type of guys who are I would say this, they are the hardest men to be in relationships with. And the reason why is because an alpha male, like a 100% alpha male, because you have guys who are alphas and they have certain traits where they can still be in relationships and compromise. Mm-hmm. Most alpha males, what happens is because they are the top guy and they're in that position, they're usually uncompromising. You understand what I'm saying? And what happens is that they're going to want to extract the complete best out of you. You understand? Which could be good or bad, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah.
But what that means is that the minute that he sees that you're not on point, you're out of there. You understand what I'm saying? He's like, I'm replacing you. You understand what I'm saying? And so what happened? And that's just his attitude because he can. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Because he's the top, he can do that. You understand what I'm saying? So he's requiring you. So for example, it's then in the chat, Trump syndrome. Here's what I'm saying. So let's say, and I'm giving a very broad, general, look at this, and I'm gonna be extremely superficial. Let's say you have a top guy, good looking, makes a lot of money, fit. You understand what I'm saying? All this stuff that most women are looking at, right? Mm-hmm. He's probably gonna also want you to be fit and look as fit and look as good as him. You understand? Yeah. Then he's going to also want you to cook and clean. He's going to also want he might want you to have some babies and then still be fit, after you had all them babies. You know what I'm saying? Like, and, you know what I mean? So I'm just, and I'm just making these broad things just to show that there's a lot of work it takes to get that type of guy and to keep that type of guy. You understand what I'm saying? It's and shout out to James in the chat. He said high value man doesn't mean high moral character. That's true, because you can have a guy who's people consider, and I don't even consider that a high value guy if he has bad character. This is my opinion. My opinion is you gotta have some character. But that's another thing where you can have a guy who looks good on paper, right? But being in that relationship with him, you're like, damn, I thought I got me this awesome high value guy, and he's emotionally unavailable. He don't care what you talking about. You know what I'm saying? He's just like, listen to what I'm saying, listen to what I'm doing, whatever. And I don't care what you think, what you say. You just hear from me. Like, I actually had a guy who told me this once, and I thought this was very interesting. He said that men, and I thought this was interesting. He said men want there's 2 types of women. There's partners and there's pets. So he said that men either want a partner or a pet. So a partner is like, you're my partner. I take into consideration what you might say and what you give input on the relationship. We talk together. We might compromise on things. That's a partner. Okay. A pet is you look good, you shut up, and you just do what I say. You know what I'm saying?
Come when you call.
Exactly right. So you have a lot of guys who people will consider high value guys who are going to want those pets. They don't want a partner. You know what I'm saying? So you got to also take into account that aspect of the game. You see what I mean? So that also goes there too.
Yeah, definitely. We got some good comments coming in on the chat. Good stuff there. I think what we're saying is really valid, right? Mm-hmm. Is that yes, everybody wants, listen, let's be honest. Every woman wants Superman. Like of all the men in the town, okay, Superman. There's only one Superman, right? And Lois Lane is hanging around him and hoping that she gets selected. But she don't want Clark Kent. She don't want Clark Kent. Mm-hmm. She wants Superman.
Right.
And I heard I want to say it, maybe it was Patrice O'Neill one time said it, right? This guy was a genius, yo. He said women don't really want to win.
Right. They want a winner.
They want to be with a winner.
Right. Exactly. Right.
and like when he said that, I had to stop the video and just think about that for a minute. He said women don't really want to win. They really just want to be with a winner.
Right.
Mm-hmm. They don't want to go out and slay the dragon, and
mm-hmm.
they don't want to get burnt in the fire and, mm-hmm. and get punched in the face in the fight. Like they don't want to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
They just want to be on the winning side when the battle's over.
Right.
And be with the person who has done all those things. And so I mean, and listen, and that's not a slant against them. Mm-hmm. That's just what it is. Like they want to be on the winning side.
Yeah, and I think that the thing is, like I was saying earlier, I like to be very realistic and about, you know, relationships and dating, because that's how you actually get what you want and get something. And I think most people, men and women, want things because it looks nice and shiny, but they don't actually understand what it is to have that, but also understand that sometimes that nice and shiny thing might be overrated. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. In the sense of what you might really want, because you got to really say to yourself, what do I think, or what do I really want? This is what you got to think about. What do I really, really want? Yeah. You might say, I really want a guy who's going to, you know, love me, who's going to respect me, who's going to be there. Right. And so cool. That doesn't have to be the guy making 6-7 figures. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be that guy. Now, I'm not saying that you can't get that guy that's having 6-7 figures, but understand there's a lot that goes on with that. It's almost like, for example, let's flip it around so we could even make this point even clearer. When I talk to men, a lot of men are like, I want the baddest, hottest girl. I want the sexiest girl, right? You know what's the number one thing that happens when a lot of guys get these really hot, sexy girls? What's that? Other men are checking these women out. Other men are trying to get with them. And then these guys are like, I can't handle all these guys trying to get at my girlfriend. You understand what I'm saying? Because we don't realize what it meant to be with a woman that beautiful. So it's the same thing on the flip side. A lot of women don't understand what it means to be with a guy who's that high value dude. You understand what I'm saying? Because shout out to Car Messia in the chat, because she was saying that she wouldn't want to share. And I get that. And the thing is, but what happens is a lot of times is that women who don't want to share, what's going to happen is that you're going to have to get a certain type of dude, meaning in most cases, you're not going to get a high value dude without sharing him. You understand? And this is the truth. Either you're going to know you're sharing him, or you're not going to know you're sharing him. When I say you're going to know you're sharing him, that means he's going to let you know, hey, listen, if you want to be with me, understand that I may also be with other women. If you don't know you're sharing him, he's going to say, girl, I'm just with you, but he's going to be cheating on you. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's because most guys who can get a lot of women and who are the high valued guys are the most attractive. So a lot of women are coming at them. And most guys, unless they were raised a certain type of way, and you know, and it's a small percentage of guys like this, but unless they're raised a certain type of way, they'll be with that one woman. And usually what happens is, again, like I was trying to explain it to you know, a lot of women, is that, you know, you have to look at it this way. Like, let's say someone like Idris Elba, right? Let's say, you know, he's a celebrity or whatever, but let's, you know, just use him as an example. He's like a sex symbol, whatever. There's so many women who want Idris Elba now. I think Idris Elba is married at this point right now, right? What happens is that in order for you know, like, for example, his wife got him, but that also excluded a bunch of other women who can't get Idris Elba, because now whoever's with him is with him. That's right. Correct. Now, understand, if you go to a party with 100 men, there's only 10 Idris Elbas. Yeah. 90 are not Idris Elba, right? So what happens is that if there's 100 women in the room and there's 100 men, if each 10 of those Idris Elbas only chooses one woman, there's 90 women who's not getting an Idris Elba. That's right? And so unless you want to be with the Idris Elba, you're going to have to share. You understand what I'm saying? So, and I think that's the backlash. Right. And see, and again, now I'm not saying that women need to do that. But what I'm saying is that understand
Yeah, with the game.
The higher the value of the guy, the more attractive the guy is, the harder it is to pin him down, and also the harder it is to pin him down with just it being you.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Listen, this is good game right here, because sometimes, like, women, you might say I want this, but you have to understand what comes with all of that.
All the stuff you're trying to write.
Right. And I'm telling you, and the brother down at the post office might look pretty good.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, it's less pressure, it's less like wondering.
Because think about it this way. I want to bring it home with this. Imagine us men. We said this. Imagine myself or you said, you know what? We're not going to talk to any woman unless they look like Beyonce. I'm not taking any woman out on a date. I'm not going to talk. I'm not approaching her. I'm not going to make any woman my girlfriend. I'm not going to if a girl does not look like Beyonce, I'm never talking to her. Y'all look at us like, what? Y'all like, right. I think, you know what I'm saying? Like, you look at us like, you're crazy, right? But what happens is that we understand, a lot of guys are like, well, you know what? This girl, she's cute. She's cool. I like her. Let's rock with this. Let's see where this goes. Right. And so this is what will happen. And see, the reason why is that guys have to have that perspective, because on the front end, we don't have as much attention as women do. You see what I'm saying? Because we don't have as much attention as women get, meaning that we don't got our DMs flooded. We don't got our, inboxes with a whole bunch of women. Yeah. We have to say, you know what? Let's take each opportunity to see where it goes. The thing that tricks women is women will get a lot of guys, a lot of high value guys in their DMs or hitting them up on Tinder or these dating sites. But a lot of these guys on the front end are just trying to have sex. So what happens is that women confuse the attention they're getting from guys who just want to have sex as actual interest and attention for a guy that they can potentially be with. And that is incorrect.
See, right. It's like a fantasy. It's like a fantasy.
Right.
That's not going to come true.
Because your sexual value is not the same thing as your relationship value. And that's what you understand is that most guys will have sex with you. That's nothing. 99% of guys, they'll do you. If you're a decent looking woman, they're going to do you. Even if you're not a decent looking woman. I remember a guy made a joke. He said, look, if you put a dress on a gorilla suit, a dress on a gorilla, somebody going to buy that gorilla a drink. You understand what I'm saying? So that's nothing. But to actually keep a guy and to make him want to be with you, that's your relationship value. And understand that to pin a guy down in a relationship who's a high value guy, you have to be that extreme high value woman. You understand what I'm saying? And the thing is, again, like I said, you have to be high value in his eyes. You understand? Just like a man to you is high value in your eyes. So whatever is high value to each of you, the man and the woman, has to match up. It has to line up. So you could think you're the high value guy to that man. Yeah. He has to see you as that high value woman to him. So for example, if you got a guy, and this is what, again, I'm bringing up Kevin Samuels because this is the funny part that a lot of women sort of get angry about. And this is the hard part about it. And I know it's tough to hear, is that you may be a woman who's like, I'm a high value woman, and you'd be correct. You're smart, you're funny, you're educated. You understand what I'm saying? You're even an attractive woman. But then what's going to happen is that high value guy you want, he might look at you and say, you know what? And this is how simple it can be. He'd be like, you know what? You're not skinny enough. I'm done. That simple. You understand what I'm saying? And that's just him. You understand what I'm saying? You might want him, and his only criteria for why he's not even going to talk to you is that. Yeah. And so this is what I'm saying, and the reason why is because he can get the type of woman he wants easily. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what you have to understand. So this is what you're going to be competing with, or this is what you're going to be dealing with in these situations now. And this is what I'll say too, is I want to bring back what I said earlier. The way that you can circumvent that, let's say that guy's like, you know what? She's not really, she's not as skinny as I want. The way to circumvent that is that, again, if you're better than your vagina, right? And that guy gives you a chance because he's going to be like, man, you know what? She's cute still, but so I'll kind of see where it goes. I'll kind of mess with her. I'll see whatever. what's going to happen is that if you're better than your vagina, if you're the type of woman who brings something to the table that he needs and that he wants and that he yearns, then he'll be like, okay, I gotta give this woman a chance because she's different than I thought. She's like, you know what I'm saying? And this is where and
look, and then if she decides to kind of pull out, she say, you know what? And she just see, and here's what I tell him: at the slightest hint that he's like starting to like pull back, you know what? You pull back. You know what? I tell you what, you know what? I'm not feeling good today. I don't think we're gonna go. I don't think we're gonna go down and see about that real estate today. Maybe we should do it tomorrow because like maybe I can feel like something's not going right. So you know what? Let me go ahead and he'd be like, oh, wait a minute.
You're like, right. He's like, no, come back. Hold on.
Yeah. Let's talk about these things. And I'm telling you, there's nothing that gets in a man's mind like the fear of loss.
That's and that's perfect. And listen, perfect that you said that. And also understand this: he's gonna fear losing you if you're different than every other woman, because he's gonna be like, when am I gonna find another woman like this? So and that's what I'm saying, where you got to stand out, because everything else, like I said, you not being skinny enough, that's not going to be that big of an issue unless you're like, just totally not as tight physically. But if you not being skinny enough, that's not going to be that big of an issue. If there's other aspects about you, notice, look at all these rappers like LL Cool J, Snoop Dogg, and there's a few others. Look at their wives. Their wives aren't like, Instagram model looking women. Their wives. They regular looking women. Right. You see what I'm saying? Regular. Why do you think these guys who can get basically any woman they want stuck with these women for years and kept it real with them? It's because those women held them down. Those women actually found something and was like, you know what? I got you. You understand what I'm saying? And those guys, that's what men respect and that's what men want. You see what I'm saying? So that's like the cheat code to get that high value guy to see you as his best choice. You feel what I'm saying? That's the cheat code, because you have to. Because look at it this way: there's a bunch of women who's gonna look cute and have that body type he wants. There's gonna be a bunch of women who's gonna give him sex. There's a bunch of women who's gonna try to withhold sex and try to play that game. But guess what? What's gonna differentiate you from all of them is that the key is you have to be better than your vagina. And then so once you know that, then you can implement that into how you interact with these guys. And then that's going to make more guys, whether you see them as high value or not, or whatever it is going to make any of these guys see you as different. And that's what's going to make them, latch onto you. You see what I'm saying? And so you just got to have that sort of, mindset and an aspect of it. And this is the last thing I'll say on this is that also understand that this is still a numbers game. I don't want women to get discouraged, because understand that certain men just aren't going to be for you regardless. It's just not a match. You also have to factor in chemistry and connection. You understand? So even though, again, if a guy looks good on paper, right, and you think that this will be a good thing, sometimes it might not be, because y'all just don't really connect, and that's fine. You understand what I'm saying? Because everything's not going to be connection. Everything's not going to be chemistry. You just have to find the guy you connect with, who you also have chemistry with, and who y'all also flow in that direction, and it'll naturally take its course. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Women are not used to that aspect, like having to deal with the numbers. Men understand like rejection is part of the game. If you want to score the winning prize, you got to get used to getting turned down, getting maybe getting a drink thrown in your face, and you know what I mean. You just wipe it off and go on to the next one and move on.
Right.
But women like they want. It's the Cinderella complex, it's to be chosen by the prince, but the honest, understanding is that it's just not going to happen for everyone in that way. So you're better off just looking at discovering who it is and who it is you want and what kind of man you want, and seeing where you fit in that guy's life. Because you know what, to me it benefits you as well to be able to fit into that man's life, and so that it's a natural coming together when you fit. There's nothing like a fit.
Exactly. And that's what it's about at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Find the person that fits with you. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Mr. Locario, thank you so much for your time, brother. I know you got to get out of here. You gotta pop on to the next show.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you having me, man. Anytime. Let me know what's good, man.
Yes, sir. Tell the people how they can follow you. Tell them what you got going on, the Bad Boy membership and all that good stuff. Let them know.
So for the ladies who's watching, you can go to my website, mrlocario.com. I have a book called It's Your Fault, You're Single, Tips on Finding Mr. Right. So you can check that out. I also have a program called How to Find and Keep Him, which is a mastery course on how to actually find a guy and keep him interested. So you can go to mrlocario.com and you can, make that happen. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a troll Miles Cunningham right there. But yeah, that's what it is. And, for any of the guys watching, you can check out my Bad Boy membership program. Go to badboymembership.com. And also you guys can follow me on Instagram at real Mr. Locario. So that's REAL Mr. MRLOCARIO at real Mr. Locario. So it's
nice. And you guys that's watching, if you need a love coach session, I'm your man, KTJ. Pop on to love. You can send me an email at lovecoachatlanta@gmail.com. I do one-on-ones. I've got a coaching program that's getting ready to launch. We're just about there, putting the finishing touches on and getting it ready for you guys. So come on through, hit me up. Let me know if you need it. We got it. We're making it happen. So Mr. Locario, my man, I hope that this continues.
Oh, yeah. Let me know. Let me on down.
Ongoing thing, man. I love having you. I sure appreciate it.
Appreciate everybody in the chat, man. I'll holler at y'all.
Yes, everybody in the chat. Thank y'all so much for being here. And if you guys watching on the replay, please hashtag replay, leave a comment down below and let us know that, that you were here, and hit that subscribe button on your way out. Hit the like button. Get it. Let's get this thing rolling and keep it going. You guys, thank you so much. Appreciate you guys for being here. Till next time. Peace.
Later.
And love. Bye.